ITAL was a chance for me to pull everything together.
So much so fast, and yet I learned so much.
Honestly, the thing I remember most is the laptop. It has come in so handy and I use it all the time.
Without ITAL, we probably would be back in the Stone Ages.
The instructors were fun. I was the only Mac user in the crowd, so I, of course, let them know that.
All I can remember is laughing an awful lot.
What I remember most? Oh, the people there, because they were really so friendly and helpful.
How to use PowerPoint more effectively, because I wanted to, I don't want the students just to sit and feel like they're just passive observers.
There are people here to help you use these technologies who are experts in the technology.
Really positive learning experience about being with people that you never got to see on campus generally and getting to know them.
I think I did ITAL in 2000, and during our ITAL there was a tornado warning and the whole campus was evacuated. But we continued in our area over, I think it was at PSL or O'Donnell Hall, I can't remember. I think it was at PSL where we were doing our training, and we went right through the tornado and we came out later and realized that there had been a tornado and the whole campus was deserted.
I worked real hard to try to get my entire course online on WebCT a couple of weeks before the semester starts.
The thing that I really like the best is a current grade summary for them all the time.
What I really realized was that if you make the technology in the class integrated and relevant, the technology itself kind of becomes transparent.
If you set up the grade book, students have instant access to what their grade is. And so, you know, there shouldn't be any surprises by the end of the semester.
A weekly current events, like you saw this in the news, let's talk about that in relationship to the rest of this class. And it's it just adds a dimension.
The biggest impact of both the ITAL experiences was that it really upped my willingness to just try.
It's wonderful to be able to bring courses to students that might be that quiet student in a face-to-face classroom in the back row and see that student blossom.
Completely changed the way I lay out the course, because I fully expect to be able to provide material online to my students and give them quick feedback, have assignments submitted. I can have deadlines that are, you know, at midnight, which is what my students like, and I don't have to be awake to get them. I love that.
We learned about Skype, and I think adding some kind of video component to our true distance ed courses, virtual office hours, I think is how someone described it, is really important. Whether it's using Skype or something else doesn't really matter. Right. And I have a faculty member who did that, and if nothing else, what I got out of it was when she came to me and explained that she needed a webcam for her office, I didn't hesitate to authorize that expenditure, whereas before I might have said, well, that seems kind of frivolous.
I guess I should also mention the library has done a lot of work to make materials accessible to students at a distance. The bookstore is getting on the bandwagon about this, and the engineering college has a DE server where compressed videos are stored of the lectures.
I don't think I can say that my face-to-face classes are truly blended courses, but I use WebCT to support all of them in a substantial way. And during our last accreditation in the department that I work with, how I teach professional ethics, which is primarily these asynchronous discussions that I hold using WebCT, was cited as exemplary.
An odd thing I discovered in my own discipline was having mathematical things already worked out, say in Word, in equation editor. Students don't read them. If it's in my own handwriting, they will. And I don't know why that is. It's almost like they would look at it as if it was textbook already prepared. And so for a few years I had a lot of examples and a lot of homework already written out and written up in Word. And people would say they didn't find it very useful. And I kind of ran out of time and threw a couple of them up that I'd handwritten. They loved them.
Now when I have an idea for something I would like to do for a class, I don't just sit back and say, oh, I wish this was possible. 9 times out of 10 it's possible. I just have to find the technology or the person that knows the technology to help me figure out how to do it.
schedule, not the first days, but somewhere usually the third day, I take all of my classes into the lab, and we have sort of an intro to WebCT. I want to make sure that they know how to do those things. So I have a practice quiz for them, and I tell them, okay, log on to WebCT, open up here, click there, and they're going through it. Okay, now take the quiz, and usually the quiz is on things that are on the syllabus. So it also sort of ensures that they're reading the syllabus so that they know what my name is.
Rely on the support and training you get from NMSU. The ICT training staff, the Teaching Academy, Extended Learning all have great training programs where those people really are staying on top of the trends in the field, and they can pass that on to us. So I can stay current with the technology, know what I need to know, without having to subscribe to the journals myself. I'm basically borrowing their expertise. So that's my best piece of advice.
Certainly make all your classes. That will help you quite a bit. Try to read the materials and then attend the class, and be sure to ask the questions you have during class time. Ones that you remember later, the ITAL instructors will talk with you and meet with you even after the classes are over. I've come here many times for information. Always been very helpful.
Manage your expectations regarding what you're going to be able to do after you're finished with ITAL, unless you've had some instructional technology training in the past.
Guidelines, I have tips, I have grading criteria, I have good examples, bad examples, all sorts of things, so that they can see what my expectations are, and they can look at it at 3 o'clock in the morning, the day that their writing assignment is due.